Conheça as camisas Roda o BTC. Visite a nossa loja.
It was a year of turbulence for Bitcoin. Epic crypto meltdowns, spectacular falls from grace, and macro headwinds. But crypto winters always lead to spring, and countless seeds are being planted and nurtured in this Bitcoin bear market.
This is the best time to be interested in Bitcoin. None of the fundamentals have changed, so get out there and learn about it. Get out there and invest. Get out there and build. Now is the time.
When Bitcoin's price began to free fall, traders and newcomers got spooked. But the builders, developers, and voices in the space stayed focused on growth, network security, and education. Here now, we dive into 10 things to watch in Bitcoin in 2023.
Bitcoin is a wily beast.
Starting with the obvious, crypto scammers getting their due.
Sometimes I think it just likes to drop in value to pull out the scammers. They get exposed and then they get wiped out.
The truth is, the ecosystem needed a purging of bad actors. Nature is healing. Unfortunately, there was tremendous collateral damage for those who trusted but didn't verify. Significant losses for both retail customers and even seasoned investors and celebrities.
The speed was unbelievable, which gets straight to the vaporware, which is proof of stake shitcoins, and how much they can be levered to create billions of dollars out of thin air. A billion-dollar hole on a balance sheet can deflate literally in hours.
I obviously know all the institutional investors in this deal. We all look like idiots.
A fool and their leveraged Bitcoin are soon parted.
Which brings us to StackChain. Hodling Bitcoin through a bear market is never easy, ask any OG. But this cycle, a group of amped up Bitcoiners came together for some friendly competition and started StackChain, a way to gamify stacking sats and have a lot of fun along the way.
StackChain is a place, it's like a conduit that has captured the hopeful nature of Bitcoiners in a depressing world. In StackChain, we stack sats.
Bitcoiners are proving they'll stack relentlessly regardless of Bitcoin's price, and they're doing so while building circular economies around the world. From El Salvador to Madeira to the Central African Republic, local Bitcoin forward marketplaces are picking up steam around the globe, creating hotspots for tourism and capital flows, but more importantly, providing an alternative for native citizens just looking for a form of money they can actually rely on. Do you use Bitcoin more or US dollars more?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Sí.
Wow. As more and more businesses start accepting Bitcoin for payment, you can track them on btcmap.org. Pretty soon, we think this map will span the globe. Like the vibrant maps, Bitcoin artists are spreading color and cypherpunk-inspired culture to communities around the world. A refreshing reprieve from a crypto economy awash with ape animations and AI generations. Instead, here is original art inspired by Bitcoin and generated by humans popping up behind prominent voices and at Bitcoin conventions.
I make art that relates to Bitcoin. I'm passionate about what it can do and the good it can do for society. I repurpose banking materials in the work to try and show and teach what it's all about. It just feels good to take the tools that have been used to hold us down and to cut them up and reimagine them into something that can then be used to teach about this new era.
Proof of work never looked so beautiful. All right, Argentina may be great at soccer. Argentina! But monetary policy, not so much. Unofficial estimates have inflation running at about 25% year over year since 2008, with even more outrageous rates exceeding 50% in 2022 for the peso. Most citizens are ready for a change. That's why we're watching Javier Milei, an economist currently serving as a federal deputy of Buenos Aires, who is running for president this year. He is also a Bitcoin maximalist.
El Bitcoin es la reacción natural frente a la estafa que son los bancos centrales y que el dinero vuelva a ser privado. ¿Qué es lo que pasa? Cuando vos tenés economías con alta inflación y el problema de la estafa es más claro, entonces hasta podés discutir, como digamos planteo yo, directamente eliminar el Banco Central.
We're all familiar with GoFundMe and Kickstarter and the good causes people come together to raise money for. But these platforms have the same weakness other fiat institutions suffer from: centralization, concentrating risk and power into a single entity, with all the friction that comes along with other traditional payment systems like transaction costs, time delays, and steep exchange rates. But with Lightning native Bitcoin crowdfunding platforms like the new Geyser Fund, users are able to donate to people or receive funding directly, instantaneously, and without censorship from all over the world.
Essentially what you get to here is this information transfer protocol of the internet and this value transfer protocol that, coupled together, have the potential to really disrupt how applications function, how society functions, and also how value and monetization happens on the web.
One of the most debated topics in Bitcoin is the question of custody. On the one hand, plenty of hardcore hodlers will tell you, not your keys, not your coins. In light of the recent implosion of high-profile exchanges and lending platforms, this certainly seems like good advice. However, the reality of mass adoption faces the challenge of educating would-be Bitcoiners on how to take custody safely and securely. And what about people who are interested in the asset, but are not inclined or equipped to take their Bitcoin into self-custody? Fedimint makes a pretty good case for what they refer to as bottom-up trust.
Think of it as the idea where first-party custody is not your keys, not your coins. This is not our keys, not our coins. So the community is coming together to elect some of the most trusted elements of their community to custody the Bitcoin on behalf of the community.
A custody solution that doesn't involve leaving your coins on an exchange? We'll take it. With the inaugural Africa Bitcoin Conference last year, we got a glimpse into all the latest developments in one of the parts of the world that needs Bitcoin the most, and unsurprisingly, where adoption is growing at the fastest rate. Jack Mallers and Bernard Parra made a major announcement of a partnership between Mallers' Strike and Parra's BitNob to enable frictionless remittances to Nigeria for the very first time.
Bernard and BitNob is the whole reason we're able to settle value in other currencies and in other continents because they're on Lightning too.
If businesses in Africa can't send their monies out, then it's bad for us. But if they can come do business and they have the assurance that there's a payments rail that actually sends their money back, then it improves commerce and trade for us.
Machankura, a slang term for money in South Africa, now has new meaning, connecting the previously unbanked to the world economy. Machankura's breakthrough tech allows for users to make payments using older phones with text but not internet capabilities. This represents a massive swath of the population that will now be capable of transacting in Bitcoin without any need to upgrade their devices.
How fast is the service? If I'm sending you some Satoshis or Bitcoin,
depending on the wallet you're using, it's less than a second.
And rounding out the top two things we're watching in 2023, censorship-resistant social media. Are you on the decentralized alternative to Twitter yet? Nostr stands for Notes and Other Stuff Transmitted by Relays. This open protocol that operates using cryptographic key pairs is scalable and already has seen massive adoption since the beginning of the year, including regular user Jack Dorsey, Twitter founder and former CEO.
So what a relay in my mind is democratizing the town square on the internet so that anyone can become a platform of speech that you can connect to. So they're kind of like free speech nodes on the internet.
Nostr is so important. Even with Elon Musk acquiring Twitter, you still have to trust one individual not to censor anybody, not to deplatform anybody. And that's a tremendous amount of trust.
And the number one thing we are watching this year is the Lightning Network, the second layer solution to Bitcoin's foundational time chain. It's continuing to see widespread adoption in terms of users and applications, and promises to deliver more and more utility in ways we can't even imagine in the coming years.
Lightning is an example of how I go from 350,000 transactions a day to 350 million transactions a day. So on that layer 2, you could move the Bitcoin in seconds for fractions of pennies.
Lightning payments were failing at almost a 50% rate 3 years ago, and now they're succeeding at almost a 99% rate. And that tells you that the network maturity is starting to get there. This is why I'm so excited, and I'm looking at this and saying, we now have scaling technology for Bitcoin. It's here, folks, and that's really exciting.
It's hard not to be bullish on the Lightning Network and all the transformative projects underway in the space. Block by block, stack by stack, Bitcoiners aren't just envisioning, They are building the future they want to see.